3 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Jeff Daniels. I live at 2875 Eagle View Place here in Concord, North Carolina. Good evening. Dear Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners, I stand before you not just as the owner of Bella, who was unlawfully shot and killed a few short weeks ago. I stand before you as a concerned Cabarrus County citizen, taxpayer, and voter. When I left to take my family out to dinner that fateful night on April 29th, I returned to the shock and horror of learning that our beloved Bella had been killed. While we're sorry that Bella and Jackson managed to escape our yard, it was not uncommon for us to let them out in the yard, and in the 4 years that we'd had Bella in our family, we'd never had a single incident. When we returned that night, it was clear from the break in the wood that the hole was created from the outside. What is even more disturbing, however, is what began with a simple question, why, has revealed a pattern of deliberate indifference inside the Cabarrus County Sheriff's Department. I say that not to engage in adversarial speech. I say that in hopes that the pattern of deliberate indifference ends here. It is my highest hope that the Board of Commissioners will support Chairman White and stand true to his words. In an email last month, Chairman White stated, and I quote, "The bottom line, as I am concerned, is to get as best of an understanding that I can about what happened and what can be done to eliminate or reduce the likelihood of this occurring in the future. If I'm not willing to review and assess situations or occurrences, then we are not getting better." End quote. I'm pleased to hear that you're committed to reviewing, assessing, eliminating, or reducing the likelihood of this occurring in the future. That is something that the Mr. Chairman reaffirmed during the press conference. However, this is not an isolated incident, and a review must include independent, outside experts. During the press conference last month, Mr. Chairman began by stating we're very sorry for what took place that night. However, the press conference did more to raise questions than it did to answer them. Many of the responses to questions included statements like, "I cannot comment on that at this time. I do not know the answer to that question right offhand." That's something that we really haven't discussed. We've tried to get that information. We don't have it at this time. In fact, Chairman White spoke on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and told the media that the board will continue the investigation and continue to verify information. We've not been contacted to discuss these issues. The media has not been contacted with answers to their questions. The taxpayers of Cabarrus County have not seen further action. In response, we have formed and organized a group of concerned voters. In just 5 short weeks, we've attracted approximately 1,000 local members. Could I just please finish just 30 more seconds, sir? Sure. Thank you so much. JusticeForBella.org is a grassroots organization dedicated to reforming animal care and control in Cabarrus County through the use of empirically proven, cost-effective methods that have already ended shelter killing and reformed animal control operations in other cities. Our goal is simple: stop the taxpayer-funded killing of 80% of Cabarrus County's animals and reform animal control operations through new policies and procedures and mandatory training in animal behavior and non-lethal methods of capture. We will not go away quietly. We will only become stronger and louder. We will be back and we will be heard. Respectfully, we'll see you next month, Commissioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next matter we have is Mrs. Juba. Jessica Juba, if you'll please come forward.
I'm Jessica Juba, resident of Concord, 2875 Eagle View Place. What happened to Bella is tragic enough, but now she has become a symbol of something even bigger. This was not an isolated incident. What Bella did was bring attention to an animal control department that is broken and a sheriff's department that lacks both leadership and compassion. What Bella did for this county in death, we will equal by honoring in her life and the lives of every animal that has fallen before her and after her. My question to you this evening is, will you stay true to your words and join the ranks of other progressive communities, accomplishing great reforms, some of which are right here in North Carolina? This is something to be proud of. And of that is something to campaign for this November. Or will you just go back to business as usual? We will be updating the public on those very questions, and we'll keep scorecards for every elected official and public servant and where they stand on these very issues. With the committed support of national advocacy groups across North Carolina and across the country, we will continue to expose the flaws in the system. It is our sincere desire, however, that we can work together with the Board of Commissioners to make the necessary changes. I know deep down in your hearts, people from different states across this country. And that was accomplished alone by social networking. As we launch our website and campaign this week and work with our Board of Directors and Advisory Committee consisting of former county commissioners, local business leaders, concerned citizens, animal welfare experts, and animal law attorneys, that support will continue to grow at a record pace. This is an election issue. We will continue to make it an important campaign issue. A lot can happen between now and November, but what you do from this day forward will determine not only how this county is perceived, but how the citizens of this county will vote in November. Telling the truth and doing the right thing is always the easiest and best thing to do. It is much harder to cover up failures than it is to address them. As the opportunities that they are, opportunities to improve the welfare of the people of Cabarrus County and the animals that they love. What we cannot do, however, is count on the very people that have created this problem to be the ones to fix it. The Animal Protection and Preservation Advisory Committee that has been charged with these issues did not even meet in 2009. They are not committed to saving lives or finding solutions. There are independent experts like the No Kill Advocacy Center, Humane Society of the United States, and Professor William Reppy of the Duke Animal Law Center right here in North Carolina. They must be the ones to review animal control operations and make recommendations. Anything else is truly an outrage. The citizens of Cabarrus County want change, and that change must include the review and recommendations of experts that have achieved great success with counties just like ours. Something good can come from this. There's a lesson for all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. White?
The next is Mrs. Melissa Fassett. Mrs. Fassett, if you'll introduce yourself and where you reside, and you're going to be talking about Bella and practices of animal control, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
I don't have a prepared speech. My name is Melissa Fassett. I live at 3597 Odell School Road in Concord, 28027. I'm a volunteer. I work for Concord Engineering. Back to the volunteering, I volunteer for rural transport. They transport animals out of the south, out of high kill shelters. I spend every weekend, or every other weekend at least, sometimes even more than that, and I transport animals to a safety zone, to a place where they're not going to be killed. They're not going to be put into gas chambers. They're not going to be killed. They will find homes for them. They test these animals, and they make sure that they're not going to be hurt. I volunteer as a scout mom. I am raising an Eagle Scout who is working on his project, working with the spay and neuter of Cabarrus County. It's got to start with education. Spending all these tax dollars on a kill shelter right here in Cabarrus County is not benefiting anybody. I have 3 kids at home that I'm raising, and the incident with Bella, they read that, and that was appalling to them. I include them in everything I do as far as information, learning, giving them the information out there to have a better America. As they grow up, they are our next generation. When they found out that we had a kill shelter here in Cabarrus County and that we kill 80% of our animals, they couldn't perceive that. They couldn't perceive that because they come with me every other week and pick up these animals and rescue them, sometimes 80 in a weekend, and we transport them 60 to 150 miles. And it's a group of us, a team, and we spend our own money to get these animals to where they're going. So I'm asking you guys to take a look at how Cabarrus County runs their shelter. If we're about saving the animals, let's save them. Let's not kill them. They're worth saving. They could be used in many different ways, and killing them is not the way I want to spend my tax dollars. I'd much rather spend extra in my tax dollars, so it's less transports that I have to do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. One thing that makes it very difficult is that we have been, a lawsuit has been discussed that we were going to get sued on, so it's tough to make comments when we've been told we're going to be sued about this matter. So anyway, the next matter we have is Tracy